additional police force that has been deployed across Srirangapatna town in the wake of the Srirangapatna Chalo campaign that is being spearheaded by the Hindu outfit. The campaign demands that the government allows Puja at the Jamia Masjid, which the Hindu outfit claims that it was formerly known as a Hanuman Mandir or a Anjaneya Swami temple. Now the Hindu outfits have planned to take out a march from the area to Jamia Masjid seeking permission to perform puja. The campaign that is being led by the VHP, they have also urged to suspend the madrasas that are functioning there. The police, meanwhile, that has been deployed all along the route of the proposed march, and prohibitory orders that have been put in place. At this point, we are also getting to know there have been few protesters that have reached the spot. This is the development that has taken place so far, as additional police and force deployment that has been done in and around Jamia Masjid, as this is a ASI protected heritage site where the demand has now been that they be allowed to conduct a puja there and a Gyanvapi like survey to be also conducted, because they say that the particular Jamia Masjid is built on the of a Hindu temple, a Hanuman Mandir. That is the claim that is being made. So a Srirangapatna Chalo, that was a call jointly taken by the Hindu groups, and they wanted to take out a march today. Just before that, anticipating if the situation could go out of control, additional police deployment that has been done. We have been speaking to the SP live here on the channel, and more than 500 police personnel that have been deployed. There are 4 checkposts that has been installed for security arrangements.
Senior officers have been apprised of the situation here, and definitely we are, we are making sure that the organizers are also informed about the situation here, about the clamping of prohibitory orders, and they have been made aware of the fact that if any attempt to violate this order, definitely legal action and strict legal action will be taken. So they are aware, and definitely since they are aware, we are hopeful that they will not come here and to make anything of that sort, whatever they claimed. So once the report comes, only we can take any action on that matter, and since the request has been made to the Deputy Commissioner is the competent authority, and we will definitely seek her opinion also, and definitely we seek legal opinion, and after that, once the report is come and once legal opinion is taken, definitely the further legal actions can be taken.
Deepak is joining us live right now. Deepak, the live updates, we are told that a few protesters have reached.
Yes, now we are standing on the highway. This is the road that leads to Srirangapatna town. You can see the board, of course. So technically what the protesters are trying to do with the prohibitory orders in place and several people being blocked on route to Srirangapatna town is that they plan to protest right before the entry to the Srirangapatna town where the prohibitory orders end. You can see at this point in time a few protesters have started to gather here. They're all standing right next to this area where the limits of Srirangapatna town and essentially where the prohibitory orders come in place ends. Let me try and get a word from some of these activists. You ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಾ ಇವಾಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಪೊಲೀಸರು, prohibitory orders ಇದೆ, ನೀವು ಅಂತೂ ಸೇರ್ತೀರಾ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು?
ಸರ್ ಖಂಡಿತ ಸೇರ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಬರೀ ಇದು 144 ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬರೀ ನಮ್ಗಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸೇರಿದಲ್ವಾ? ಅಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸೇರಿದಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್? ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸೇರಿದ್ದು. ಬರೀ ಹಿಂದೂಗಳಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ 144 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರುಗಳು ಸೇರ್ಬೋದಾ ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ?
ಇವಾಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಯಾರನ್ನೂ ಬಿಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೂ ಬಿಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ನಿಮ್ದು ಏನು ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್ ಇದೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು?
ಸರ್ ನಮ್ದಿರೋದು 3 ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡು. ಅದು ಮಾನ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಅದೊಂದು, ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮದ್ರಸ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಮೊನ್ನೆ ವಿಡಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂದೂ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವಯಸ್ಸಿಂದನೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಡಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮದ್ರಸ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಹಿಂದೂ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಕೂಗಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂದರೆ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಏನೂ ಹಾಕಬಾರ್ದು ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಾರೋ, ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಅದೇ ಥರ ಅಲ್ಲ ಕೂಗನ್ನು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸರ್, ಇನ್ನೇನಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ.
ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಪ್ರೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಏನಾದರೂ ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್ ಇಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಸರ್ ಅದು ನೋಡೋಣ ಆಮೇಲೆ.
Well, that's the word from the Karyakartas here, from the pro-Hindu organizations that have gathered. They're saying at any cost the madrasa should be stopped inside the archaeological site. They're saying that there should not be any sort of namaz that should be offered there. They're also demanding a survey to be conducted. As we speak, the number of people are increasing. You can see a few more now gathering. The police, of course, are expecting about 200 to 300 people. The expected number was, of course, 2,000, but we've been told that at various checkpoints, Several buses which had, the Karyakartas coming from various parts of Karnataka are being stopped because prohibitory orders are in place and they do not want the law and order situation to get out of hand. The proposed protest site is about 50 meters from where I'm standing. You can see a small mantap of sorts that is there. This is the Kirangur circle near Srirangapatna town. A heavy deployment of policemen right there because as per intelligence reports, the gathering is going to happen here. Like I mentioned, activists now are looking at a strategic position to begin their protest because this is right outside the limits of Srirangapatna town where the prohibitory orders end, and that's the board of course that says welcome to the historical town of Srirangapatna, and that's where the limits start. So anybody entering beyond that, of course they can be booked under various sections because right now there are prohibitory orders that have been put in place, and like the SP was just speaking to us a little while earlier, he says that there will be no sort of lenience and anybody violating prohibitory orders will be booked. We've heard the demands from the Hindu side at this point in time. We've also seen the defenses come in from people associated with the Masjid. As of now, what we're yet to hear is from the ASI, which has remained quite silent because this issue has been going on for several years. This is not something that started just after Gyanvapi. There has been, of course, a demand that's been echoing for several years, but once again, with several issues like the Gyanvapi that has come to the fore, this issue has been revived by some of the pro-Hindu organizations in this area.
All right, Deepak, stay on with us. We'll play out reactions both coming in from the BJP side and from the Muslim side. First up, the BJP, which is trying to back claims by the Hindu groups, asserting that there indeed existed a mandir before on the ruins where a masjid today stands.
ब्रिटिश गेजेटियर में लिखा है, पहले आंजनेय टेम्पल थी, आंजनेय टेम्पल का ऊपर गुंबज जो टीपू सुल्तान ने बनाया गया है, ऐसा गेजेटियर में लिखा है। आज भी रेवेन्यू रिकॉर्ड में आंजनेय टेम्पल के नाम पर ही रेवेन्यू रिकॉर्ड है। ये सच है, सभी जानता है। VHP रैली के बारे में मुझे पता नहीं, आपका बात तो सुनने के बाद पता हुआ, मुझे पता नहीं VHP किसके लिए रैली कर रहा है, पता नहीं।
As per the direction of the Archaeological Survey of India, a request by the VHP leader Banu Prasad Sharma, they have given directions to make the videography of the east entrance of the Jamia Masjid at Srirangapatna. People were claiming that it was indeed a temple's premises where the mosque has come there, and that the east entrance has to be videographed. This is a clear evidence of Tipu Sultan's, what kind of activities he has done, Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan.
Meanwhile, the Muslim side is opposing the survey, saying that the masjid has been built for over 200 years and there is no chance that as far as a survey to be conducted, as they will be opposing it to the very end.
Actually, this monument is maintained by Archaeological Survey of India. The owners of it's under the Waqf board. It is maintained by Archaeological Survey of India. As per the Archaeological Survey's rules, after 1957, prior to 1957, what all the activities has been going on, it should be continued here. Madrasa is not unauthorized. It is authorized madrasa run by Tipu Sultan Waqf Estate.
When you say you don't entertain, you will not entertain any sort of survey, you're saying?
Yeah, we will not entertain that. We will go as per the Places of Worship Act after 1947, what all is there. If it is a temple, it should be continued as a temple. If it is a mosque, it should be continued as a mosque. That's all.
ನೆಮ್ಮದಿ ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯನ್ನು ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಕೆಲವು ಶಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಹುನ್ನಾರಗಳನ್ನು ನಡೆಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಒಂದು ಶಾಂತಿಯನ್ನು ಕದಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲರ್ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಮತ್ತು ಸಮಾನ ಮನಸ್ಕರ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಒಕ್ಕೂಟ ಮಂಡ್ಯ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಬ್ಬ ನಾಗರಿಕರಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಮನವಿ, ಇದೊಂದು ಸುವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನು ಕಾಪಾಡಬೇಕು. ಈ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂತಹ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಶಾಂತಿಯನ್ನು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ನಾವು ತಿಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ.
Going back to Deepak for a quick update, because Deepak, the main challenge now remains with the ASI. What sort of explanation they will come forth with, because this is a heritage site protected by the ASI?
Yes, precisely. Now, as far as the argument of, whether this was a temple or not, this has to be, you'll have to go back in the history books. The people here, the historians say, including some of the Muslim side, now they do not deny that maybe it was a temple during the time of Tipu. We know that certain temples, of course, were razed down and, there were, other structures, including masjids that were built. Now, they do not dispute that this could have happened, but they say that this is something that dates back to about 2 centuries beyond. And they say that when the ASI took over as well, this was still a masjid and the ASI accepted it. So where's the even bone of contention that really comes up here is the question that is being raised by the other side. But as far as the Hindu activists are concerned, they're saying, what about the madrasa that's being operated? What about students staying inside, a hostel of sorts inside the Jamia Masjid? We, of course, put out those visuals yesterday on Times Now, which shows, rooms where students are staying who, of course, study at these madrasas. So can an archaeological site be used for such purposes? This is a question that they're saying. They're also saying that there are, of course, murals, Hindu religious structures inside the masjid that still remains, including a kalyani that is of Hindu religious nature. They're saying that this is
all right, Deepak, just stay on with us. Rahul Ishwar is with us on the phone line. So Rahul Ishwar, after Malali Masjid, it is the Srirangapatna Jamia Masjid that is now under contention now, where a Gyanvapi-like survey that is being asked with the VHP now leading a Srirangapatna Chalo March.
There are 2 points. One, especially the mother organization, RSS. Pujaniya Sarsanghchalak Dr. Mohan Bhagavat has categorically told a position that there are some places which are sensitive, which should be respected, and a talk should be there between Hindu community and Muslim community. And he also asked for moderation. And regarding Tipu Sultan, it is a known fact of history that Tipu Sultan had done many atrocities on Hindus and Christians too. Especially he had done forced conversions. So there are some sensitivities involved. We have known that there is a contentious past regarding the whole thing. So if there can be talks or something, it will be great. But, always the legal option is what Pujaniya Sarsanghchalak Mohan Bhagavat said. There are Hindu groups whose sensitivities are hurt and who want...
Rahul Ishwar, Mohan Bhagavat ji had said that as far as there is no need to find a shivling in every masjid, that will only hamper peace in the country.
Correct,
Main point was that he had made. And if you're talking about the legal point of view, then why do we have the PHP, despite prohibitory orders, they are going ahead with their march?
That's the point I'm saying. I am pointing out that Hindu groups have their own sensitivities and different places have a checkered history. There should be talks and there should be reconciliation rather than condemnation or rather than any reclamation. There are some sensitivities involved. I believe Pujaniya Sarsanghchalak words will have some kind of a healing effect. Sadhguru from South India has already pointed out. Sadhguru also said we cannot take that kind of a revenge on history. But there are some Hindu groups who are hurt. I hope they will follow the path of Pujaniya Sarsanghchalak because that is the official line. That's the official line, and when a head of an organization like RSS tells something so strong, I hope it will have a rippling effect down, and especially any kind of such confrontation should be avoided because we are living in a nation where the Hindus of today and Muslims of today cannot fight with each other because we are the largest Hindu majority country and we are the largest...
No, fighting is not an option over here unless it is the matter is taken up legally. Mr. Rahul Ishwar, thanks very much for joining in. Mr. Krishna of the BJP is also with us right now. Mr. Krishna, Rahul Ishwar was pointing out to the comments that has been made by the RSS chief saying there is no need to find a shivling in every masjid. Then what exactly is happening now in Srirangapatna, sir?
Very good morning to you. What Mr. Rahul Ishwar was talking about, Mr. Mohan Bhagavat's statement. What the people have forgotten one thing is, Mr. Mohan Bhagavat, Sarsanghchalak ji has said in his words that even the Muslims who are in India at one point of time they were Hindus and they got converted. This point has to be noted very much. That means they are all Hindus converted Muslims. They are talking about this. Now, the issue is the Archaeological Survey of India has ordered for a videography of the place. Let it happen. If it comes true,
sir,
really,
the ASI hasn't made any comments on the Srirangapatna issue till now because this is this is a ASI protected site, sir.
ASI has already, DC has already instructed, they did not heed to that. Now that ASI has said that videography has to be done, So, I mean, we are not talking about the mosque, we are talking about the adjacent of the mosque, the eastern part of the mosque, where the madrasa is running. The unauthorized people have been occupied there. There the Kalyani
Well,
has
sir,
been
let
found
the
at
courts
the
decide then, because the masjid side is going on to say that this is a Tipu Waqf estate from which the madrasas have been going on ever since this structure was built for over 200 years now. Mr. Krishna, thank you very much. Yes, I'm running out of time, sir. Apologies. Thank you very much for your time, because we are constantly tracking those live updates, even as the march. Few protesters, we are told, have reached the site in Srirangapatna. Back up.